to Off the Record, talking real estate with Joe and Makayla. If you're interested in the Portland, Oregon real estate market and want the unvarnished inside scoop, you've come to the right place. Thanks for giving us a listen. Okay, welcome to the show, everyone. It's good to be back. Hi, Makayla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. We haven't done this in a while.
I know. It feels like forever. We took a little hiatus over the break, and, we
came back swinging on January 3rd or 4th.
Jeez
Louise.
Louise.
We've been working hard ever since.
Yeah, fast out of the blocks right now, which is good, which is very good. So, and that's what we want to talk about today is get everyone up to speed on what 2025 is looking like and what you can expect, where we're at, and maybe give you some personal insights into what we're doing right now with some of our clients, some of our folks that are buying a home, selling a home, and different investors we're working with. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. What's today's show going to look like, Makayla?
Yeah, I think I want to start with chatting about our personal experience in the market, what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. And then I want to talk about what's happening nationally, bring it locally just to our hyper-local Portland market. And then we'll end with how we can help you decide if this year will be a good time for you to buy or sell.
It's funny. We have so many people reaching out right now saying, hey, we're ready. It's after the holidays. We really want to get going on either buying a home or figuring out what we're doing as far as selling a home. What are you seeing with the people that you're working with who are on the buy side?
Feels like it's a little all over the place, but our buyers that are ready, and by ready, we mean like pre-approved, who are actually searching, feels like there's a lack of inventory.
Yep.
And homes that do come on the market that match their needs seem to go really fast. So it's kind of like this waiting period, and then you have to go all in and know right away if that's the home or not for you, which, there's pros and cons with that, but being ready is definitely an important factor of that. And then we are working with some investor clients who, they look in the 400 and under range, and those homes get 10 offers in 2 days. It is a dogfight every week when those ones come on the market. And I don't know if that's always been the case. You'll have to speak to that more. But to me, it seems like even more of a rat race than ever to get those ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the investors right now because the lack of inventory that we have is really causing, when something does come up, bang. I mean, it is just swarmed by people that, in the past, we had a lot of people, people that flip homes and buy to hold or whatever the case might be. They had plenty to look at, right? And there was all sorts of good inventory. And even, right after COVID, when prices were going so nuts, we still had a lot of homes to look at until we didn't, right? And now it's, I think they say that our inventory is 3.2, 3.4, something like that. And just so you know, remember, 6 months is considered a healthy marketplace for inventory. And the definition of inventory is if no homes hit the market right now, no more new homes hit the market, how long would it take at the current rate to sell out the inventory we have? And right now that'd be about 90 days, a little over 90 days, which is not very much. It's also a function of there being less sales.
Right.
So it's an interesting marketplace. Real estate is one of those things, though, that it's all a matter of perspective, right? So a lot of people, I get the feeling that the public in a lot of ways looks at our real estate market right now and is like, oh, it's awful. It's this and that. It's just different, right? And you can get a great home, a home that you've been, wanting to get into forever. You can still do that. And if you want to sell your home and get the top dollar more than anyone's ever gotten in your neighborhood, that's still happening. It's just different.
Yeah,
the
I
game
agree.
is different.
I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think that's what people are missing.
Yeah, but I think from all the indications here in January, it feels like a lot of people are starting to come around to the fact that, okay, it's not just interest rates, it's all these other factors and what we want to do. Right now, lenders are getting pretty creative, even though rates still hover around 7. It's worth a conversation with your trusted mortgage professional to see, what your situation is like if you do have interest in buying.
Right, because if you have a high credit score, a big down payment, it's likely less than 7.
Yeah. So we talked about buyers, we talked about investors, home sellers. We just put one on the market last week that between Friday morning and Sunday night had 28 showings. That was the final total.
That's
28
crazy.
showings.
I thought it was 24. That's nuts.
28, yeah. So, and we did get multiple full price offers on that. But that just proves that if you have a desired property and it's dialed in for what people are looking for and priced right, it's going to happen in this marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Our seller had a unique opportunity on that one to take a long time to prep the home. Mm-hmm. And also he was really interested in pricing it right so it wouldn't sit on the market. I don't know why. It went right out my head.
First part of the season, it's going to happen, Makayla. It's going to happen. And we have other clients right now that are, they've approached us and said, hey, we've got about 30 or 45 days till we want to put our home on the market. What should we be doing? Highly, highly recommend that, folks. If you're thinking about selling, even if you're not sure if you want to sell, go ahead and get started with having the conversation with your real estate professional to find out, what your home would look like in the current marketplace, what you can do to improve its standing. We have one that we're getting ready to put on the market early February that they've had the floors redone. They've had multiple rooms in the house painted. They're going to have landscaping done. They're getting staging set up. They're doing all the things necessary. And it's a great house, but they are maximizing every opportunity they have to get the highest possible dollar amount. So
I agree.
Yeah, it's just, it's a good strategy to have. We're starting to see more of that. Do you think people are listening to our podcast? Are they getting on the pod and saying, yeah, we do have to do some prep. We do have to figure this out.
I hope so. That'd be so funny if they didn't say anything. They were just they're like, yeah, we've heard this already.
Yeah, quit harping on us about that.
Not new information.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think the prep is making all of the difference right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have a lot of homes, and the one that we're marketing right now, and the ones that are doing really well have done their homework, have prepped the homes, but also pricing. Mm-hmm. We have to talk about pricing.
When I tell people pricing is important right now, they take that as, oh, I have to underlist my home, and I'm not going to get as much money as I would another season, and I really don't think that's true.
No,
but it's really
properly
hard to
priced, not underpriced. And if you're over what the current market is for your type of home and property, it's going to be a long road to hoe, even if you're a top 5% home. We talk about, if you bunch all the similar homes together, there's ones that are better than the others, right? Mm-hmm. They're nicer. They've been more well kept. There's no deferred maintenance. The styling, the floor plan, the landscaping, outdoor living, all that stuff is there. But even the top 5% ones, if you're too far above the market price or over the market value at all, it's tough. Mm-hmm. It is really tough because buyers are not going to overpay right now.
Right.
I think they feel like they're getting stabbed a little bit with interest rates, and they're just not going to overpay. And a lot of them will just say, love the house, but you're $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 over, right? And that's a real problem. So getting priced right at the cutting edge, or even just a little bit below, because like in the case of the one that we just had 28 showings on, we were probably right at market value, but we ended up getting multiple offers, and it ended up selling for $25,000 over what we listed it at, which was great. Sellers were happy. Buyers felt like, they got a good value, even though they paid a little bit more than the list price, and it sold in the first weekend, right? So,
yeah, I think market value is something that's hard to explain to people. I think a lot of times sellers will get a little offended if when we give our genuine...
Can we just try it at this price?
It's like, well, if you want my opinion, it's probably not going to go as well as you're hoping at that price. And that's always
And what happens when you
hard.
Try it at that price? Like, let's say it's $525 is the value, and they want to go at $550. That's a problem, because if it doesn't sell and it's on the market for a while, people are going to see that, and you're not going to get your asking price. You're going to get below asking price on the price that you like. If it's the market value is 525. They listed at 550. It doesn't sell. We reduce it to 525, but it's been on the market for 30 days. You're probably not going to get a full price offer.
Exactly.
And you're looking at 515, 510, something like that.
Right.
So instead of pricing at the 525 and getting that value right away, you tried out the higher price and now you're accepting 510, 515, something like that.
Yeah. Market time is not your friend. We'll just say that.
No.
Should we tell them what's going on nationally?
Yeah, well, let's look at the big picture. Okay. So inventory, even though we're getting more homes on the market here in Portland, we're at 13% year over year. So 13% more homes are on the market now than this time last year. Does it feel like that?
No.
No, it doesn't. I think we started at such a small number before. 13% increase is like, meh.
It still doesn't feel like much, but it's hopeful to me.
Yeah. Around the United States, Atlanta has a 38% increase. Tucson, Arizona, 42%. LA has 26%. And Miami has 45% increase. So a lot more homes hitting the market around the country. Here in Portland, not so much.
Right.
Right? A little bit different marketplace. When we talk about list prices, and everyone wants to know, our price is going down, our price is going down. And you're going to hear, if you talk to 10 people, you're probably going to hear 10 different things, right? But the facts are the facts. And here in Portland, we're flat. We're actually 0.5% below the average list or the median list price from this time last year. So prices essentially are the same. If you look around the rest of the United States, Seattle had a 3% drop in list price. So what homes are going on the market for? Phoenix, 5%, Austin, 8%, Miami and San Francisco are down 10%.
That's crazy, especially because Miami is still such a hot market.
It's a hot market, but it's cooling down as far as people are coming to realize, oh, wait, I can't price it at that. And it's the same thing we talked about, 2 minutes ago here with pricing. If you don't price competitively, it doesn't matter how wonderful your home is. Right. It's not going to sell.
Right.
So that's the big picture on, the national scene. It's still a seller's market in most places, even though inventory is starting to come up and prices are still starting to come down. Like we said, it's all relative, right?
Right.
If your head's barely above the water and you sink it down a little bit, you can still see, but you're not. That's a bad analogy. That's a horrible analogy. What's a better analogy?
I was really excited about that.
I know. I was going somewhere with that, and it didn't quite work out.
I don't know what the analogy is, but the thing that I'm thinking of is if you're a buyer and you're interested in a home that's been on the market for 100 days, you have more negotiating power than that seller.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
But if you're a seller with a really hot home that is well priced and you have 4 offers, then...
Right. Leverage is yours. Tell me about interest rates. What do you think? What are you seeing? In case no one has been looking at this, where are they at right now?
Well, they're right around 7%, like we touched on a minute ago. People are hopeful that it'll come down a little bit, but not hopeful that it'll get anywhere below 7 or below 6, or probably anywhere in the low 6s. Having a good credit score is more important than ever. 700
and above is bueno.
And chatting with your mortgage broker on how to get creative is also really important. Now is still a good time to be asking for some seller concessions that can help you with your closing costs and or buy down the interest rate, which has the biggest impact on your monthly payment.
Yeah, I was going to say buying down the interest rate is still one of, if not the most powerful thing you can do, right? And most sellers right now, if it's spent any amount of time on the market, they're going to give concessions, right? They're going to give closing cost. And even if it's, not, even if it's a hot home, you can build it in there so that you can get money towards your buy down.
Right.
Because the difference between a 7 and a 6.5 or 6 3/4 and 6.125 is huge, right? It makes such a difference.
Like hundreds of dollars a month.
Yeah. So interest rates are what they are. And, this is just the new reality and where we're going to be for a while. I'm not going to pull out the old, back in the 1990s and early 2000s, it was different. It was different.
But home
same
prices
interest rates,
yeah.
but home prices. I remember selling my first home that was over 200,000, and I was
That's
like,
crazy.
"Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
That's insane.
My first listing was $98,000.
Wow.
It was a nice house
That's crazy.
up in North Portland, yeah. So, them are the old days. These are the days that we have now. So, that's where we're at. Okay, let's dive into some more stats for the area and just kind of get a feel for what's going on. We gave you some general numbers before, but we want to kind of just throw out there, and we're going to go by county right now. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when we're looking at days on the market, days on market in Washington County is 74 days right now, right? Multnomah County is 87, and then Clackamas County is 76. All of those are the highest numbers we've seen in...
It's the highest numbers I've seen in my career.
Yeah, long time. So let's look at median list price. So what are homes... if you look at all the homes that are being put on the market, if you go right into the middle, what is that number? Median list price in Washington County is now, or in December, was $622,450. Multnomah was $487, and Clackamas was $712. So in Washington County, that's a decrease of 2.7%, right? So homes are 2.7% cheaper that are hitting the market right now. 5.3% in Multnomah County, and Clackamas is up 1.7%. The luxury market, folks, is still hot.
Just fine.
Doing just fine. Thank you very much. And we need to do a podcast on luxury purchase and luxury sale. It's
agree.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game right now.
It is a different ball game. So we're looking at that. What else do we want to look at, Makayla?
I like the stat comparing December 23 to December 24. We're up 15.3% in closed sales. That made me feel a little more hopeful.
So it is what it is. All these stats are interesting. You know, if we look at the Seattle marketplace.
Yeah, like Seattle's average days on market right now is 69.9. So very similar. We always compare the Portland metro market to other nearby markets to give some context. But usually what happens in Seattle kind of has that trickle down effect. We'll see several months later happening in Portland. Mm-hmm. And then we also look at Boise too. Boise is a really interesting one because a lot of people are moving there right now, specifically from Portland. So it used to be one that we compared down to because it's smaller than Portland, but mm-hmm. now it's things are different because there's a lot of movement there. In Boise, the average days on market is 68. So very similar as well.
60. Dropped.
Oh.
Yeah, it dropped down to 60.
Dang, good for them.
Good for them. I know. I know. And median listing price year over year, pretty much flat, almost the exact same as here in Portland, 0.7% down. So 579 December of 23, December of 24 was 574, 950. So a little bit of a flattening market for them as well. If you're interested in finding out any statistical information or trends or anything for your neighborhood, your area, Portland in general, we're more than happy to help. We provide a lot of this information to our clients when we sit down with them and talk about where the market's at, what their neighborhood's doing, all those type of things. And it can be very helpful to see the trends and understand, especially around pricing and days on market and, what the ebb and flow and the momentum of the marketplace is, because, you certainly don't want to get aggressive with pricing in this market, but you really don't want to get aggressive if your neighborhood pricing is significantly less than some of the things we just talked about.
Absolutely. I also think that for sellers right now, updated market analyses.
Mm-hmm. Is it analysis or analyses? I'm going to go with analysis.
You think that's plural? I don't know. We'll fact check that in the show notes.
Sure.
Maybe. I think their market CMAs, as we call them, are more important now than ever because, things are changing as we've talked about. But I also think that the online algorithms still don't do a good job at giving you an idea. Mm-mm. And I think it is important to have a broker come look at your home, drive around your neighborhood, take some time to hear about your updates to really make a good analysis, because I think it's so important to be precise right now. And know too, like if we do come over and take some time to, walk through your house, that doesn't mean that you have to sell. We're just happy to provide information for you and help you decide if it's a good time for you to sell, because it might not be, and that's okay.
Yeah. I think the algorithms is also, I'd like to add to that what a computer looks at is size, square footage, trends, different statistical things, but the amenities, how well appointed a home is, the design, the floor plan, all of those factor into what buyers find value in and what eventually your home's value is. The Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, all of them don't have that anymore. Or never did, actually. They don't have the ability to look at that and say, that's an extra 10,000 here or an extra 5,000 there. So it is absolutely worth it. And the other thing is, we have a lot of clients we talked about who are talking, March, April on their sale dates. And we do market analysis, CMAs for them right out of the chutes to say, hey, if you put it on right now, this is probably what you're looking at. But we also go back to that when we get ready to put it on the market. So probably about a week before or even a couple of days before we go active on the marketplace, we'll update that and say, hey, good news. Mm-hmm. The market's changed a little bit here in your area, your neighborhood. And we think instead of, $650, you might think about $675 here.
Right.
So timing moves quickly in our marketplace, much faster than it used to. And the variables, there's just more variables now. So it's a different marketplace, and you just have to be always updating and getting more information and more data to make good decisions on that.
Couldn't agree more. And then if you're a buyer, as we touched on earlier, it's important to be ready. If you see a home that you fall in love with pop up on Zillow, chances are you might be too late if you're not already pre-approved. We can connect you with our trusted mortgage brokers who can help you start that process. Again, they aren't going to do hard inquiries on your credit scores right away. They'll always wait on that so you can just get an idea if it's a good time for you or not.
Good show, Makayla. A lot of good information. Thanks, if you're thinking about buying, you're thinking about selling, reach out, go to LivPortland.com, LivPortland.com. We've got a ton of resources there. You can always see our old podcast. We've done some really good shows on what to do if you're a first-time home buyer, if you're moving up, you want to sell a home, buy a home, but don't want to make 16 different moves and all that sort of stuff. So check out the library. Thank you to everyone that supported the podcast. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to a very fun 2025. It's going to be a good year.
Yes, I agree. I'm excited to see how this compares to our spring market update that we'll have coming up sooner than later, I'm sure. And I think we're calling this season 2.
Oh, is it season 2?
Season 2.
We're dropping season 2, folks. Yeah.
And this is it.
Yeah, and this is it.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks for joining us today. If you're interested in finding out more about Joe, myself, or the Live Portland team, you can go to liveportland.com. Thanks for giving us a listen, and see you next time on the Off the Record podcast.